And the topic, it's all about how you can go from being overwhelmed to being connected with your purpose. I had a really weird experience yesterday, and for the first time in my life, I was extorted for money. And the event itself, as you can imagine, it was definitely uncomfortable to the point where I even started to cry. And so afterwards, I was thinking to myself, like, how do I even feel about how I dealt with the situation itself? And I was like, am I happy with how I dealt with it? Or am I kind of a little bit like not happy with it? And so I was like, but my initial feedback to myself was that I'm not sure if I am like super happy with how I dealt with it in the heat of the moment. But as I was thinking that, actually I changed my mind, and I thought to myself, like, you know what, I got myself out of the situation, and my recovery process was extremely quickly. And so I recovered from it almost immediately. And that is my feedback to myself, that if it was not for my self-care routine, for that I have awareness around how to every single day know the importance of really taking care of, like, doing the things that I am doing every single day to become and to be centered within inside of myself, I wouldn't be able to recover instantly from that situation. And then it would have had an influence on how I'm showing up in my work, the way that I am showing up at work. And it would have an influence over like how I think about everything. And it you know, like how can a situation influence how are you thinking about your road ahead of you, thinking about your goals, you know? So it's so these life events that are happening, and when they really hit you hard, because some of them, they really can hit you hard, and when they hit you hard, that is when they are having a really big impact on you. And it has that emotional impact on you, where you're starting to blame yourself, when you're starting to feel guilty, when you're starting to feel that you have done something wrong. And when you're starting to believe, because of that situation, that it's your fault, that is when you're starting to talk to yourself on a subconscious level that you are not good enough. And believing that you're not good enough will create that internal environment, and then you are operating like your operative system. Well, you will start to create from that space, and then it will create itself, let's say, in your physical environment as well, that I am not good enough. And it's only because we need basically because we didn't have awareness that there are these events, and we need to do, let's say, the tidying up of these events. And so we need to, it's as if we are in the kitchen and we break a glass with coffee or whatever on the floor. And so obviously we need to clean it up, right? And if not, it's just going to create a mess like everywhere in the house, right? And so it's the same with when we are going through, like when there are situations going on and happening to us, it creates a mess within us. But if we don't clean it up, it really can create a mess that can follow you and stay with you for a very long time in your life. And you can suffer a great deal, like a lot more than what you necessarily needed to do, you know, if you had awareness around that we actually need to do this, call it emotional cleanup, and just to have that awareness enough awareness around it. And so with that said, it's really helpful that you are aware about this framework, this 3-step framework. And so be aware that you like put into place a routine, how to take care of yourself, how it looks like. I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to give you an example of how that can look like. And then also practice it, and to stay consistent with it, and then to implement it as a part of your lifestyle. So that is how you quickly can recover, okay? And so to give you an example of how it can look like, it really is setting aside time to take care of yourself. So I can highly recommend that you are putting into place workout routine, right? So to have a workout routine to make your body work, like to have a proper, let's say, workout, a physical workout. You can implement a meditation. So that is another way of how you can center yourself, how you can have, let's say, a break from the outside world to, for example, only focus on your breathing. You can make it really simple just to focus on your breath. And this you can do, for example, for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. You can do it like start with once a day. You can do it 3 times in a day. And so it's all about just having that moment where you are not focusing on anything else, but purely focusing on, okay, I'm going to have a moment to myself, and only like 5 minutes, just to not think about anything else, just to be with you and to focusing on your breath. That can really also make wonders when it comes to bringing in awareness onto how am I really feeling? How am I really feeling? How am I really, like, what's, and so it's such a beautiful way of how we can also get in touch with the world, let's say, that we are living in internally every single day, right? And giving ourselves that time, and kind of, it's like as if we are putting a light, like a spotlight, and shining it on to in our internal world, allowing ourselves to experience and to feel without being scared or wanting to run away from the emotions that we are sometimes even scared to feel, and to acknowledge that I am feeling like this. So when we are making a practice like that, like this self-care and awareness practice, we are allowing ourselves to actually experience and to feel in what I call real time, so that the emotion actually can also find its way out of your body. And that is when the healing is happening, and you are able to move on, going about your day, but then feeling a lot better, getting that emotional relief, and feeling that, like talking about tidying up, right? So it's gonna feel that, now I have some more room to be me, to just be myself, and letting go of self-judgment, and not worrying too much about seeking approval, for example, of other people, but already knowing that I am good enough, because you are reaching that space within inside of yourself of that internal stillness. And so this is really the goal behind having that self-care routine, is that you will reach that place when you are practicing and when you are sticking to it as well, right? And so, okay, so I've mentioned like physical exercise, have a meditation practice. You can, of course, you can do yoga. You can try out, for example, intermittent fasting. So that is eating, but for a limited time during the day. So for example, skipping breakfast or skipping lunch. So that it means basically that you are, the time of the day where you are eating is, for example, 8 hours or like 6 hours. And then for the remaining of that 24 hours, you don't eat, right? And so that is also a beautiful way of how to let go of toxins from your body, shedding those negative emotions that don't belong to you. Reading, taking time out to read. You can block out time to just do something for yourself, something that you do for fun, not for any other purpose, not to do it for anybody else, but you're actually doing it just for you. So you're not thinking about anybody else, but doing it for the purpose of taking care of yourself and doing it for you, having fun. And so that will also like rejuvenate your batteries, recharging your batteries as well. And you can set aside, for example, 1 hour, 2 hours every morning to do a practice like this. You can implement as well like a visualization as well, and visualizing what it is that you are wanting to happen. You can have like a visualization about all the things that is working out in your life, all the things that is really going your way that you're happy about, like a gratification, like you're grateful about it. And so that's another way of how you can tap into the emotion of your heart, like that higher frequency that will connect you deeper as well with what truly matters, which is that internal space of I am whole, I'm feeling safe, I am feeling taken care of. And it's such a beautiful space to be, because it's like we try sometimes, or like we try a lot of times to really we want to control the outcome of situations. But when we are learning, what I'm talking about right now is that you're reaching that place within inside of yourself where you're finally able even to let go of the control of the outcome, which leaves you feeling that, okay, so I know it will work out, because now you have the internal emotion of almost as if it already has turned out in the way that you are wanting it to turn out for yourself, because you can feel that stillness within inside of yourself. You don't need to have a confirmation from the external world for you to feel amazing, or to just feel safe and taken care of within inside of yourself. So now you already have that emotion, so you can let go of the outcome, and now you can show up from this internal space of having that I want to say it's kind of like a natural way of just feeling really confident, but it's really because you are so deeply connected to your own truth, really. And so yeah, so that is a few examples of how a routine can look like for you. And then the third step of the framework, it is to just to acknowledge, and so I already said this, it's a little bit of a reminder, but it's like to just acknowledge that this is something that stay true to it, to stay true to it. And because it really is going to change your whole life. It's going to change how you are. You're gonna surprise yourself, actually, when you have put a practice like this into place, and you have been practicing this for as little as a week. You are going to notice that, like, for example, like when you're irritated, like your irritation is going to be a lot less. You're not like easily irritated anymore. You're allowing things just to be however they are, and you are, however they are, you're still feeling really good. It's as if you have like, you're having that ability to like disattach from things needing to be in a certain way in order for you to feel good and happy within. And so that is also like a change that you will recognize as well. And you will, as more you're practicing and sticking to it as well, you're going to notice your motivation to continue will grow as well, because you are building that internal well-being, that muscle of internal well-being, and that makes you really connected to your purpose. living true to your purpose, you're no longer faking it, you know. You're speaking your truth, you know, you are speaking your truth. You're showing up, let's say, in a way that is genuine for you in the moment. You are taking care of yourself. You are a set of steps that you think I need to do it in a very, very specific way in order for me to reach whatever goal. Or so you're kind of like letting go of like this rigid way of I need to do it in a very specific way. It feels like I have a lot of resistance on doing it in this specific way, but it's what I've been told or what I've learned or what I've always been doing. So I just need to continue carrying out my work in this way. And then you're feeling all of that resistance to your body. Can even be like routines that you have set up in your life. You're doing them, but it kind of doesn't feel aligned with you anymore. So when you're connected with your purpose, it's more that you have clear vision and you're connected with your center and connected with that space of being whole, as we have been talking about now for this whole talk here. And so it's really all about that you have shifted to the space of I am now prioritizing to be connected, to be heart-centered, to this has become your priority. You are connecting yourself first, and now you are taking action from that space. And it's like you have that you're starting from the end, right? And so that's how you are able to start from the end, because now you already have the centered emotion from within inside of yourself, and this is how you are able to start from the end, working yourself all the way, let's say, to whatever goal that you are wanting, but you're feeling that you're like enjoying the journey all the way there, thanks to you having this practice, thanks to you being connected with your purpose and staying true to it, right? It's not enough just to have the knowledge. Oh, wow, it's beautiful, it's interesting, you know, it's it sounds logic, you know, sounds like a good idea, but it actually is all about staying true to it and accepting that this is a part of who I choose to be from now on, because there really is no more precious space, let's say, to be than to live true to your purpose. Would be wonderful. You can share in the comments as well to deepen your own learning. Like, what did you learn from this talk? And when you are wanting as well to learn how, like, more information on what you can do to heal from burnout, and then to discover your purpose, and then to live true to your purpose, you can also send me a message, and I can share with you exactly how it is done to go from being burned out, and then what exactly is it that you can do to fully integrate this life. It's almost as if you're learning, let's say, a new identity, because some of your, like, your old routines, your old habits and patterns, the way that you have been showing up, the way that you have been living life, things that you have accepted that is not feeling okay, but it's just been like that maybe for an extremely long time. And so you have only just accepted it because maybe you are saying to yourself that, well, it's just a part of who I am, or I'm just too scared of taking the leap onto doing something that you're really excited about doing, but you're not doing it because you're playing safe, because of there has been some life experiences that you have had to go through that really scared you. And the event itself was hard to go through, but what really scared you was the aftermath, like what it did to you. And that is something that you don't want to go through again, but it scared you so much. So now you have kind of formed into a smaller version of yourself, and you're scared to do things because you're stuck, let's say, in that old event, in that old story that you are continuing to live as if that situation is occurring in your life at the moment, but it's not, it's gone. And so we need to learn what are really the tools so that you can finally, once and for all, like let go of some old stories that are gone, but they're living within you. And so that you fully can let them go once and for all, and let it to be a teacher for you to fully develop you into the person who you are becoming, and also the person who you are even required to be, to fully do the things that you really feel inspired to do with your life. Okay, so then you can send me a message and then I can show you exactly what really are the steps. So with that said, thank you so much for listening, and leave me your comment, deepen your learning. What are you learning from this talk today? And remember that all you need is your inner well-being.